I got Rocky over here.
Hey!
We just watched Rocky.
I really hope you don't do that voice the entire time.
I am not.
Okay.
That's enough. We just finished watching the original Rocky. I've shown you some Rocky movies, but I don't know if you've ever actually seen the original.
Yeah, I know I've watched the scene where he's trained before, because, I mean, that's iconic enough to where you don't have to watch the movie to have seen that.
Right.
But I don't know. I genuinely can't remember if I've watched this movie before. I liked how natural it was.
It is very natural. You know how much it cost to make?
What?
$1 million. That's it. It was really low budge. From what I was reading and a little research for this, they didn't want Sylvester Stallone to star in it.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that, actually. I was in some sort of, like, work meeting at some point, and they were talking about how he wrote it.
In 3 days.
He would not allow that script to be used unless he was starring in it.
Yeah, he turned down apparently a 6-figure salary so that he could star in it. And I do believe that paid off.
Six movies, did you say?
It wound up being the most successful movie of 1976. It had a budget of $1 million. I think it made over $200 and something million. It's such a time capsule too. So they started making it 50 years ago. Yeah. And you can see America from 50 years ago. Well, Philadelphia, anyway.
Yeah.
It's very poor.
Mm-hmm.
It's very urban. Mm-hmm. Rocky is the ultimate underdog. Mm. He is a low-level enforcer for a loan shark. If you don't know what that is, that's kind of the mafia if you borrow from them.
Don't do that.
An evil bank that will
Don't do that.
break your knuckles if you don't pay him. He didn't have a lot of prospects. His coach would not train him because ultimately he revealed he just was disappointed in him that he never went for it.
It was interesting because, like, I wasn't sure how to feel about that guy at first. He's just so grumpy about everything. It was entirely unhelpful. And then, like, he comes to his house, and I like that it showed a different side of him where he was kind of more quiet and more timid.
And that's the thing about older movies is that you'll be confronted with a character that's not likable. And it's easy to make a quick judgment about them.
Yeah.
As if, well, I've summed them all up. I know exactly who they are. But when you spend time with these characters, you start seeing the hurt and the humanity in them. And that's all because you didn't just summarily dismiss them. Mm-hmm. You spent time.
Yeah.
And you don't like a lot of them out of their personality. And the character like Paulie is like a jerk, but he's a lonely jerk. He does need love. He also needs to be kind of beat upside the head, but he expresses his pain too. But everybody gets their moment. Adrian is a fantastic character because she's so sheltered and isolated and protective of herself.
Yeah.
She won't break out of her shell.
And when she did, that was extremely powerful. She was just talking about, like, I do all of these things for you. What do I owe you? That was a strong statement, and I love it.
She broke out and told Paulie what's what.
Pretty much, like, you'd be screwed without me.
Yeah, but you see her arc go from this very timid, shy creature who won't say much to someone who feels loved and comfortable and strengthened by her relationship with Rocky. Put her in a secure enough place where she could really just
grow. Yeah. I loved the contrast of, like, her clothes before and after. One of the biggest changes was her in that red coat. That was bright and brilliant, and she was happy. She was beaming. I love it. She went from practically a turtle into this absolute amazing woman.
The thing I love about this movie is it's not just the classic underdog story. If you go back to the original, you see a movie that is all about character and it's all about heart. Rocky is not in a good place. He's poor. He's doesn't have a lot of prospects.
Yeah.
He seems to be well liked in the neighborhood, but he doesn't really have anything going for him. He needed someone to believe in him, and the god of the screenwriter of this movie or whatever, descended upon and gives him a chance. A Cinderella story, shot of a lifetime.
Cinderella story with big punches and blood.
And he's built. He's
a big guy. When he was, like, towering over her, I was just like, I'm not even, like, attracted to that, but it's just like, you're a brick.
He really had to train for this. He did he did all the fight choreography himself. Mm-hmm. There was makeup and effects because he didn't really get hurt. They couldn't do that, but it looked real enough that you're just like, ooh.
Yeah.
So why would we watch a movie about a poor guy and a showman guy beating the crud out of each other? Like, what does that have to do with us? What does that have to do with the human experience? What does that have to do with hope?
That wasn't unprompted. I thought of watching this movie because you had actually quoted him in a previous video, and I thought, well, duh, like it is a movie about hope and we should probably be watching it. It's wonderful to see someone go from their worst to their best, and pretty much most of the characters in this movie go through that arc. His trainer too, like he went from this grumpy old fart to to this guy who is just like really gonna get you going, really gonna push you.
He exposed his vulnerability too. He's trying to compel Rocky to let him be his manager, and Rocky doesn't want to have anything to do with him because this guy's treated him like trash for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly.
And so Mickey is trying to persuade him, and he can't. Rocky's behind the door.
Yeah.
He won't do it. There's this tender moment where Burgess Meredith, who plays Mickey, lowers his head and he says quietly,
I'm 76 years old.
and he's coming to grips with his age and how he's always wanted to be part of something great. And he's basically begging Rocky, help me be significant. And Rocky has to work it out all guy-like, and so Mickey leaves dejected, and Rocky starts yelling at...
And hitting the door.
And he's just all mad, and he's just saying all this stuff, but he's kind of getting his emotions out, I guess. After it,
he's able to calm down.
He calms down, and he goes out the street, and he chases him down, and he forgives him, and he hires him as his manager.
Yeah.
Which is a great idea, ultimately, because he really gets him the best training, the best people around him, and prepares him for the fight.
Yeah, and I just love that, at least to me, because I'm a girl.
I noticed.
I find it absolutely hilarious that he had to yell and punch the door first before he got to the point where he could be like, oh, all right. That's the thing with guys, is like they'll hit the crap out of each other, and then later on they're best friends, and the girls are like, what happened? What happened?
It's male bonding. I don't know what to say.
Bonding by punching each other?
Yes.
You've literally physically harmed yourself and or others, and you're all good now.
Yeah, I noticed this. I remember back in high school where there was this bully that would keep picking on me. I really hated it, but I was smaller than him, and he was bigger than me. Every day it seemed like he bothered me. And then at one point, I just hauled off and I smacked the guy. And I didn't knock him out or anything. I probably didn't make a dent because he's like huge. But after that, he treated me with respect and never bothered me again. I don't get it. But I guess I stood up and I defended myself.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't know. But this movie became an iconic thing for a number of reasons. One of them is the underdog story.
Oh, yeah.
The other one being constant mentions about how America is the land of opportunity. And
that was good.
we were going up at that point to 1976 when it would come out. And the movie would have the boxing match start on January 1st, 1976, the centennial year, the 200th anniversary of the founding of America. Now, we are on the cusp of the 250th anniversary of America next year.
Oh, that's cool.
But there was a sentiment in that you could come from nothing and make something of yourself. Mm-hmm. And that was hope that was reinforced by the culture saying that you live in a country with the freedom of opportunity and you can do it. And the dude's dirt poor. And, and when he gets brought into that office with a promoter, it's obvious that these people have more money and he's out of his element.
Yeah.
He's sitting in a really nice chair.
Yeah, he's kind of like...
Right. Rocky, he gets encouragement. He becomes bolder, and he really goes for it. He doesn't hold back.
Yeah, he seemed kind of like aimless before. I found that very interesting with the way that he was walking. If you were to speed up the footage, he'd probably look like a hamster running through a bunch of tubes. Like, he's not exactly very directed, but when he starts training, he's going in one direction, strongly in that direction, and that...
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. And there was a big transition between the first time that he went up those steps and the second time he went up those steps. The first time, again, him and the camera were kind of aimless. He was just kind of like zigzagging up the steps. And then the second time he went straight up the steps and fast. And it was just, I don't know, that was cool. That was a good transition.
And all that character is earned because he's gone through all these tough things.
Yeah.
And he's made it out with his support system. And he achieved a victory just by a split decision. A tie is a victory because he always wondered if he could ever go the distance.
Yeah.
Now, Rocky didn't really believe in himself. And he wound up getting other people around him who believed in him and cheered him on. And that's, I think, something that we could all use. We can go through a lot of desperate times and we don't feel like we're going to make it. You need other people around you. You can't fight that battle alone. He didn't go into that ring truly alone. I mean, he had to fight the battle, but he had all the support that he needed.
And even his support got support. Like when the trainer guy got him a doctor.
Right.
Out of the blue. Like, you have a doctor now. Okay. And he was so chill about it too. Everything was so like, all right, we're doing this now.
And I think what makes him so endearing.
Both.
Yes, enduring and endearing. This is all so new to him. There's a moment where he's walking around the stage, for lack of a better word, the boxing ring, the night before. No one's in the seats, and they've got a big poster of him and a big poster of his opponent, and he's just overwhelmed by what's going to happen. In that moment, he is us, because we don't know how to handle something like that. It's not old hat to him.
It's a very common experience where you're faced with something that is, in your eyes, way too big for you. It's hard to face that, and it's good that they held on that scene, and it was just so tense. You're feeling what he's feeling. Imposter syndrome is just thriving in this moment. We all have that experience. We all have that feeling where we don't even know if we're worth going into this bigger thing, whatever it is. It's something that we want, but it's also something that we're simultaneously afraid of. And it's also inspiring.
It is.
Because afterwards, like, clearly he fought like crazy. Even if it was a tie, he tied with like the biggest guy he knew. You don't know how far you can go until you try it. That's kind of what we're doing right now, like with this channel, is like, YouTube is kind of a big place. It's full of a lot of people. We're putting ourselves out there. We're doing our best. We're hoping that you're gonna stick with us. It's very intimidating for us to do this.
Yeah.
We want to do something greater. We want to do something better. Like, we want to make your short film and eventually make your movie, and we're gonna.
We'd love to cheer you on and hear about your project. It would be a blessing to us to hear about it, and we'd love to be a blessing to you to encourage you.
Who knows? We might actually just put you in the video because we know that everyone needs support right now. In the comments, you want to be seen? We'll present. We will, because we want other people to be seen. Where support is given, hopefully support is received.
So if you would please like,
Yep.
share,
Yes.
subscribe.
Hi, we're new to this YouTube thing.
If you like what we're doing, if you enjoy the conversation,
Just want to hang out.
Yeah, if you just want to hang out, we're here. We'll keep making these as long as we can. We just hope that you'll be blessed. So, yo, Adrian!
Oh my gosh, actually, I want to talk about that before we go.
Okay.
I love the fact that he doesn't even know if he's won yet. And his first thought is to yell for his girl.
Right.
That is so sweet. I was gonna cry. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day. See more of our whatever this is. And I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Yo, that.
Hit the table.
You hit the table. Now, the Rocky 2 picks up where this one leaves off. It's all about a rematch between him and Apollo Creed. Mm-hmm. That's where you start getting sequelitis. You start getting, okay, we're going to do Rocky 3 where he fights Mr. T. And if you don't know who Mr. T is...
I actually know who Mr. T is. I like Mr. T. He's a cool guy.
And then you've got Rocky 4, which is Rah Rah America. And then we don't talk about Rocky 5. Doesn't exist. And then...
I've missed a lot.
Yes. Even the director was like, we really shouldn't have done that one. And then there's Rocky Balboa, which technically should be called Rocky 6. That's much later down the line. And you never thought it would have worked because he's so old by that point. Mm-hmm. But dang it if he didn't pull it out again. It's actually a genuinely good movie. It's back when they used to give Academy Awards to good movies.
Yeah.
This won Best Picture. And it was up for, I think, 10 Oscars and won 3 of them.
I think this year, too, is actually really good compared to the last few years. We had an Oscar party.
An anti-Oscar party.
Anti-Oscar party. But this year was actually really good.
Well, the set design was good. And the production design I liked. And
the dresses. The dresses, they're good this year. The last few years, there's like, what am I staring at? I don't know what you're wearing. But this year, like, ladies were wearing very classic, very nice, very classy dresses. It was nice looking.
It's true. They were elegant.
Yeah, and they
pretty.
look pretty. Yeah, let girls be pretty again.
Let's do that. What do you know?